Good afternoon, everyone. Hi, this is Congressman Jeff Fortenberry, and I'm really grateful to spend a little bit of time to you today in this telephone town hall, which is primarily targeted to individuals who are in small business who either own or significantly invested or work for small business. I want to thank the Lincoln Independent Business Association for encouraging me to do this. The director, Bud Sindhorst, is on the line with us, as well as Leon Millibar, who is the district director for the United States Small Business Administration. Also joining us will be Kathy Lang, who runs the Nebraska Business Development Center, and Dan Curran from the Nebraska Department of Economic Development has also been kind enough to join. There is a tremendous amount of uncertainty in our country right now because of the coronavirus. I won't spend too much time on the health dynamics, but we're trying to do two things at once. We're basically trying to turn the corner of the disease while keeping your economic well-being intact. And so the bill that is under consideration by the United States Senate right now is a very, very large package. It's $2 trillion. A lot of that will go to three places. First, it's protecting health care. Large subsidies to the healthcare sector. Second, it's protecting individuals and families. There will be checks given directly to individuals and families who qualify, $1,200 plus $2,400 for a family, and an additional $500 per child on top of that under certain incomes below $150,000. Finally, the small business component is where we want to spend most of our time today. The biggest component of that is a new loan program in which small businesses who keep people on the payroll will be able to access this loan program and receive forgiveness for the portion of the loan that goes towards wages and rent and other employee benefits for the period of 8 weeks. There's other things that we can talk about, such as some grant programs as well as enhanced depreciation and look-back rules, but the primary program that is going to roll out quickly, hopefully this week, is building upon the 7A program, whereby the Small Business Administration is going to be the coordinator of this, but it's going to be run through local banks. So the banker will be teed up with a lot of loan flexibility to provide a loan for running your business. And again, the portion of it that's dedicated to wages, payroll, and rent and utilities can be waived, can be forgiven if you keep people on the payroll for 8 weeks. So this is an attempt to, again, protect health care, protect individuals and families, and to protect small business. So these are the primary components of the bill. What we want to do is spend most of the time today asking or answering your questions. So if you have a question for me or anybody else on the call, go ahead and press 0 on your phone. If I can't answer it, I'm going to turn to either Leon or Dan or Kathy to help me, perhaps even Bud. But they're very grateful to be on standby here. If you can't stay on the phone and you want to leave a message, go ahead and press 1, and I'll review your message, and we'll try to get to an answer on whatever idea or problem or consideration that you need. So again, press 0 if you have a question, or go ahead and press 1 to leave me personally a message. So thank you, everyone who's taken a little bit of time today. I know this is a very difficult time for America. There's a tremendous amount of uncertainty. If we can turn the corner on the virus by social distancing and closures, as traumatic as it is, and make sure that our healthcare system is not overwhelmed, and you've seen cases of this across the world, particularly in Italy, then we'll buy time to take care of those who are sickest, potentially buy more time to find a cure or a vaccine, but also flatten this curve so that the incidence doesn't spread and our healthcare system can absorb, has the adequate capacity, while we invest in more equipment and in more ability to meet the needs of our citizenry. At the same time, keeping small business particularly afloat and certain distressed economic sectors is the other step of this. We're going to do a 1-2 step here and 1-2 at the same time, if you will, for your economic well-being and protecting your health. Let's now go to take the calls. We'll go to, hi, Grace, are you on the line? Grace?
Yes, thank you, Congressman, for taking my phone call. My name is Grace Katz, and I'm a small business owner here in Lincoln. I own a Graceful In-Home Healthcare. We provide home care for seniors in their home. I'm just wondering if there's any provision for home care workers to receive any protective equipment, such as masks and gowns, because we don't have any.
Grace, I don't know. That is a fair question, and because I've targeted today's town meeting toward answering the business liquidity side of the questions, I did not prepare for that. What I would ask you to do is call the Lincoln Lancaster County Health Department. I assume you're in Lincoln, and ask them directly. If that fails, I want you to go to the University of Nebraska Med Center and ask them. And then if that fails, call me back, and we'll try to get you a better answer. Can you do that?
Yes, I can. Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right, let's now go to Randy. Are you on the line? Hi, Randy. Randy, there? Randy? Okay, let's go to the next person. Hi, Eugene. Eugene, you there?
Hello, yes.
Hi there. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm retired military and set on a fixed income. Is there anything going to be done in the stimulus package to help out the retired military on receiving any pay on this in this stimulus package, sir?
Yes, sir. You'll receive a $1,200 check.
Okay, well that'll help because when you're retired, you're on a fixed income, and that's it. And another question I have. I'm entitled to get drugs from TRICARE and Express Script, and 4 years ago we never was charged a $7 copay for every drug we get. Now we're charged that for every drug we get. I know somebody that takes 20 drugs a day, and he has to pay $7 for every time he gets a prescription mailed to him. I just wondering how's come that changed.
Yeah, that's been a change of federal law. There's a lot of veterans who have complained about that. I understand. It's an attempt to keep up with ever-escalating costs and have some semblance of budget sanity, but I know that pinches some veterans more than others, and I'm sorry about particularly your friend, but it's one of those things that got built in several bills a little while back and has passed the U.S. Congress. But Eugene, thank you for the questions. I want to return to certain small business considerations if anybody has those, since I do have those experts on the line today. Any of you, though, with an alternative kind of question, you're certainly welcome to ask it now. But again, we want to primarily stay focused on the small business dynamics and how to access these programs that are going to be coming, primarily a loan program, a portion of which is forgivable if you keep people on the payroll for 2 months, several months. There's also a grant program and then some other dynamics around this. But if you need to ask me a question, go ahead and press 0 on your phone, or if you can't stay on, go ahead and leave me a message by pressing 1. Hi, Rex. Are you on the line?
Hello, Congressman. This is Rex.
Hey, Rex.
Yeah, I called you the other day and talked to you before. So I own my own small business. I don't have any employees, and I work primarily in Lincoln and a very little bit in Omaha. If this gets any worse and they start shutting things down for 5 weeks or 6 weeks, $1,200 is going to be nowhere close to enough. What is a guy like me supposed to do?
Are you self-employed and you have contract workers?
Yes. So I own my business and I use subcontractors to do all my work, but I mean, the phone's already stopped ringing. There's no emails coming in. What am I supposed to do for 5 to 6 weeks?
Yeah. So well, first of all, I'd go see your banker immediately and see about this bridge loan. The loan is going to be deferred interest and principal. I believe it's for 6 months. Is that right, Leon?
Well, it's a $25,000 loan, it's an Express Bridge loan that you could tide you over until you apply and receive the funds for the EIDL loan. We suggest you start with the EIDL loan, or you can do them both at the same time. That should hopefully carry you through until we see the market turn. Contractors.
Okay. Let me interrupt for 1 second, Leon. So that's already currently in law. There's going to be a new law forthcoming within a matter of days that greatly expands your ability up to $10 million to receive a loan with deferred interest and principal. You also will have no payroll tax payments. Those will be deferred. There's a grant program that you can potentially access. Again, this though assumes that you're keeping anybody, including yourself, on the payroll. You'll get forgiveness of that loan for 8 weeks. In other words, to keep you afloat. the Leon is not, the Small Business Administration can't speak to that because it's not yet law, but that's what's coming in a few days. Is that fair enough, Leon?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Rex, does that help you a little bit?
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Let's now go to, hi, Joey, are you on the line?
Yes, hi, Congressman. This is Joey Spellerberg. I'm in Fremont, Nebraska. I own a tourism business. I just have a question about this package 3 that's going through. I know you can't really speak to it, but do you know when we'll be able to contact our banker and they'll have information on applying for that and how long that will be typically for something like this? And will it be certain banks or will it be all the banks? Will I be able to call my local bank and they'll have access to it, or how is that being chosen at this point?
Joey, when we finish speaking, I'd hang up and call your banker right now. I get in the front of this right now. The details are not yet released, but Leon can speak to this. The bank is going to be the primary portal by which SBA funds are released. There's going to be very large, loose guidelines, a lot of flexibility by bankers. Check to see if your banker is already a Small Business Administration certified 7A program. Leon, will it go beyond other banks other than the ones currently in the 7A program?
No, we have 162 lenders out of about 170 lenders already signed up for this program. We're working with the Nebraska Bankers Association on this. You should be able, your local banker should be able to go ahead and help you with this loan program.
Okay, all right.
Joey, go right now. Go get in front of this now. Okay, you just start working with your banker now, and the guidelines are going to roll quickly. Okay.
Okay, I'll do it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye. Go to, hi, Marcus, are you there? Marcus?
Yeah,
hi, good afternoon, Marcus.
Hi, I'm with Zipline Brewing in Lincoln, Nebraska. We have a pretty large workforce, of which all have been impacted by this. And I understand the earlier iteration of the bill had up to $33,000 per employee contained under this payroll portion of the SBA loan. Is that correct?
I don't know. The total cap on it is $10 million, or 2.5 times your payroll amount for the total loan on an annualized basis. So, in other words, it can't be bigger than 2.5 times your payroll, in effect. I'm not sure if it's capped at $33,000 per employee. It is capped at 8 weeks for the loan forgiveness period. Now, there's also deferral of interest and principal for 6 months. And then back to the payroll issue, there is a deferral of payments until next year, as I recall. It might be even extended 2 years. So there's some good breaks there. There's also a specific direct grant program. I don't have much detail on that, but that will be available to us shortly. So that's the basics. Now, for any self-employed person, your wages as a part of your business also can be paid for. That's important, but the cap on that is up to $100,000 on an annualized basis.
Congressman, this is Kathy Lang.
Yeah, hi, Kathy. Did you have something to add on that?
Well, I wanted to add that the Nebraska Department of Labor has a short-term compensation program that might be of interest to Marcus. He can find information about the short-term compensation program on the Nebraska Department of Labor website, and it could be helpful to him.
Okay, great. Thank you. Marcus, did I answer your question adequately?
Yes, and we have looked at the short-term compensation. My understanding of that program is we have to cover about 40% of the staffers' costs, and then beyond that can be covered by short-term compensation. We have looked at that also, and we appreciate everything you're doing.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's now go to, hi, Thor. You're on the line?
Yes, sir.
Thor, go ahead.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate all the hard work you guys are doing down there and dealing with all the garbage that you're dealing with. Genuinely appreciate it. I own a computer repair company, Lincoln, Omaha, and Papillion, and we are currently we're the largest one left open in Nebraska right now. So we are in the enviable position where, we're busier than we have ever been. I can pay my people. Everything is going well for now because everybody's working from home and they need new computers and new things. That's going to end soon. And so I'm looking at the edge of the precipice here and saying to myself, oh boy, here I am in a situation right now where I can meet my obligations, and I'm really blessed to be in that position right now. When we apply for, if I was to go in and apply for one of these loans, for example, are there any threshold, things that have to be met? Do you have to be idle, for example? So we're not idle right now, but we could be in a week. We don't know. So if we're not idle, do we still qualify for an idle loan, or do we have to apply for the other one and wait? And the wait times, as you might imagine, the SBA is doing the best they can. But as soon as the day we were declared a disaster area, we applied for the SBA loan, and we have not heard a thing.
This is one of the reasons Congress has really emphasized that go to your bank. Your bank is going to have significant flexibility to do this, so it won't be the SBA portal as your first stop. It'll be the banker. No, you do not have to be idle to do this. In fact, the intention of the law is to keep you working, to not let you go idle. So the idea here is go in and get the loan. It's a low-interest loan, 4%, extended, no payments for a while. And then again, that 8-week subsidy to your payroll and rent and utilities if you keep people on. Now, it would be reduced if you let certain people go. But the idea here is to give you the help to bridge during this real period of uncertainty. I'm glad to hear your business is good, but at the same time, you're being prudent and trying to think ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you very much again for the work that you guys are doing. It's very much appreciated, and we're doing everything we can to help our neighbors and whatnot too. We see the restaurants around that are closed, and you can only order pizza from so many places. You're trying to do everything you can. So I appreciate you guys doing everything you're doing.
Yeah, thanks, Thor. Yeah, appreciate it. Okay, let's now go to Carl. Hi, are you on the phone? Carl, you there? Okay, we'll go to the next person. Now, I don't know the name of this person, but it says Apples and More. Are you on the phone?
Yes, this is Amy Cullum, and I'm the owner of an educational retail store here in Bellevue, Nebraska.
Okay, thanks,
and
Amy.
The store has been in operation since 2002, but I purchased it in June. And so I haven't been in business a year. Can I still apply for these loans even though I haven't been in business a year?
Yes, you can. Leon, do you have any qualification on that point that I made? It's my understanding, almost with absolute certainty, not quite, but almost, that yes, Amy would qualify.
That's correct. You can qualify, and you may not have a tax return that you turned in, but we're going to end up taking your profit and loss statement, especially if you're applying for an EIDL loan.
Okay. And then I, too, have been very blessed to be busy with parents coming in right now to the point where I actually need to hire someone. So can this then, in turn, help bring somebody in? Will that help me with?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. I appreciate
this is designed to help small business. This is not an entanglement of government bureaucracy designed to meet you a high level of qualifications and standards. We are throwing a lot of resources very rapidly to try to keep our economy afloat while we turn the corner on this disease. It's healthcare first. We've got to stop the disease, but the cure can't be worse than the disease. So if we can help you guys stay afloat with the maximum flexibility while trying to prevent any abuse, of course, and there's certain caps on certain things, because this is primarily targeted at you, Amy, and other small businesses who are working, need to keep their people working, or can take on new people. It's fine. I'm glad you asked that question. Thank you very much. Let's now go to Dion. Are you there?
Hello, this is Dion. Can
Hi.
you hear me?
Yes,
Hi.
ma'am.
My phone didn't call me, and I didn't get connected until you were partway through the discussion. But if I own a restaurant in Norfolk, Nebraska. I understand my banker's my first contact. The last information we had, we were going to be applying for the SBA disaster loan. But if I understood correctly, there's something new out now. It's called a 7A program.
Yes, Dion, that's correct. What we're doing, there's already been 2 steps taken by Congress to provide certain monies to small business and paid sick leave, as well as help to our healthcare system. But we quickly recognized that those were inadequate to meet the level of the crisis that's affecting America and the world. So there is a $2 trillion package being considered right now by the United States Senate. And once it passes the Senate, it'll come to the House of Representatives and in all likelihood pass in the next few days. It greatly expands the small business pool of funds up to about $350 billion. That allows for a very generous amount of flexibility for businesses who are struggling to stay open, want to stay open, keep their employees on the payroll, with loan forgiveness for 8 weeks for that payroll cost and your rent. So this is designed with maximum flexibility for people like you, particularly restaurants who are hard hit and others who've had this negative economic multiplier hit first, to keep you afloat. So I would go to the bank quickly and begin the process of understanding of what's getting ready to come, so that if you need this, pull the trigger, and it should be available to you within days. In addition to that, I know this can be a little controversial to some people, but the direct help to many Americans who have who need income right now is another part of this. And so we're going to send checks of $1,200 to individuals, $2,400 to family, plus $500 extra to children. There are other things out there, such as enhanced unemployment compensation, but again, if we can keep people at work, that's the best possible option for all of us, along with the proper social distancing measures that have to be in place. This coincides with a lot of new testing capacity that's rolling across the country, so we'll know who's sick and who isn't, and that'll help us all get back to work quicker. So does that help you, Dion?
Yes. So my banker could not be on this call today, but he's doing a national call tomorrow. So that would probably inform him. I'll let him know what was discussed, but I might wait then until this other stuff passes before I apply for the disaster loan.
Well, I'd go ahead and call your banker anyway and just get in line, because this is coming in one form or the other. So, okay, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Bye-bye. Thank you. Let's now go to, hi, Bob. Bob, you're on the line?
Yes.
Hi.
I think that's a lot of the questions. Sounds to me like I just need to call the bank. I'm in Columbus, Nebraska, and I own a tire place. We put on tires and do automotive repair. I got 5 employees. Of course, business is about half of what it was. And it sounds to me like what I need to do is just call the banker.
Yes, sir. That would be my recommendation, because, again, this loan program is going to be very significant, and it should be beneficial to you to keep those people employed. So thanks for everything you're doing.
And hanging them on, because I hate to lose employees because I can never replace them. But I got to, if I can't keep up the payroll, then that ain't going to work. But
well, that's the idea here of us moving these funds to you. So hang in there. Thanks so much for all you're doing. And let me just thank you all who are, again, engaged in small business. Look, you take the risk. You put your hard work and your intellectual capacity on the line every day to make things that are good for people and then to keep people employed. So this is why this bill is so significantly focused on this sector, the small business sector. Again, this is Congressman Jeff Fortenberry calling you with a live telephone town hall. If you need to ask me a question, press 0 on your phone, or if you can't stay, just press 1 and leave me a message if you want me to know about any of your particular concerns or any way we can help. I also have on the line the representatives of Small Business Administration, Nebraska Department of Economic Development, and Nebraska Business Development Centers, in case I need to ask for their guidance and help, or in case you have a question for any one from those agencies. Hi, Jason, you there?
Yes, I am here. Small business owner, own a hair salon, had to lay off the whole staff because that was my understanding of what I needed to do to get them going with unemployment. Since I've already done that and our doors are closed, are there any options at all for this type of payroll that is available and forgivable?
Great question. Yes, there are. If you bring your people back, you can get the loan and you can have that payroll cost paid for 8 weeks.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, Jason.
Answer my question. Thank you.
All right. Bye. Bob. Hi, Bob. Go ahead, Bob. Yes, hi.
Thank you, Congressman. I'm a small business owner here in Columbus. I own a small bar, and since the 17th, we have closed down because of the 10-person, distancing. It's that's been, we can't make it on that, is what I'm saying, I guess.
Sure.
So, in order to, do our part, I guess we have closed. In the meantime, I myself personally, I pay myself so through the business, and so I went to the unemployment people and applied there. So it sounds like we're going to get at least something there. My question is for my part-time employees that have had to be off during this time. Some of them have other jobs, but they're still taking a hit. Is there any provisions in this for them? And then also, I own the buildings and I rent them to the bar, so the bar can operate. Is this part of? Is that, will that qualify? I guess is what I'm asking.
Oh, those are some complexities that I don't have the fullness of an answer for, and they're great questions. You could potentially, if you stayed open yourself, working, even if it's from a distance, let's say you're delivering food, or I don't guess you can deliver drinks, but if you're delivering food out of your bar, you yourself, then you could apply for that loan that would subsidize your wages, but it would be reduced because you're not bringing everybody else back. That's my understanding how this would work. That might also qualify you to pay yourself rent, since I assume those are two separate entities with separate tax ID numbers. I don't want to give that advice out over the phone as concretized. I'm not sure about your particular case. That's a harder, more complex set of questions, and I don't have an answer on your part-time employees as well. The basic construct here is if you can stay open, then you can access this loan program. And it doesn't have to be with everybody, but then it would be reduced, the amount of payroll that you would receive. The second thing is there is something else out there called a business retention credit. In other words, businesses that have had to shut down by government order, and yours may apply, may be part of that group, could qualify for this business credit, and it's $10,000 per employee. So those are, as this rolls out in the next couple of days, Bob, be on the lookout for that provision. And if you get stuck trying to wade through it, would you call me back? And the business experts who are on the line, I think that's an important question, and if you guys could help me do some research into that so that Bob and others who have similar circumstances with part-time employees, self-employed ownership, and then this interesting dynamic of paying yourself rent, if you guys could help me get answers to those as to whether or not they would qualify for the loan program partially, that would be helpful. Bob, can you do that? I'm sorry, I don't have a fullness of the answer for you right now.
Yes. And I've already been to my banker as far as checking, and he's done where we just pay the interest on our loan, for the time being while we're closed.
Sure.
My question, I'm just not sure how long this is going to go on. The 10 people deal for us just isn't, it just doesn't make a lot of sense to I can be there, sure, but I'm just afraid that the 10-person just wouldn't be feasible at all. So I was just trying to get some answers.
And this might be a circumstance where your business just doesn't fit the model, given the necessary isolation that we have to undertake. So, but let's work on those other questions. So thank you. Call me back if you can't navigate it. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's now go to Kyle Fisher. And again, anybody joining later, this is Congressman Jeff Fortenberry. We're doing a telephone town hall with small businesses in the 1st Congressional District. Have some business agency experts on the line to help. And if you need to ask me a question, press 0 on your phone. If you can't stay on, leave me a message by pressing 1 if there's something I need to see. Kyle, you on the line?
I am Congressman Kyle Fisher here in Lincoln, Nebraska. I don't know if you covered this earlier, if this is even the purview of this call, but for our real estate firms here in Lincoln, their employees are essentially independent contractors. Is there anything on this call today we can talk about to give them some peace of mind here for our independent contractors who may be property managers or in the real estate business?
Independent contractors are treated the same way as employees for the purposes of the bill.
Okay. Thank you.
Does that help? Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right. Let's now go to. Hi, Lynn. Lynn, are you on the line?
Yes. Thanks, Congressman. Lynn Fisher with Great Place Properties in Lincoln. And I've got 2 questions. We're hoping that we'll be able to get by without seeking any loan assistance, at least for the moment. But come the 1st of the month and maybe the 1st of May, depending on how many of our tenants aren't able to pay the rent, we really won't know. So do you think it's wise to wait and see if we can get through? Or if this stretches out, over the course of more than weeks and becomes months, is there going to be an issue with me going in later to our bank, maybe down the road 2 or 3 months, and then trying to get assistance?
Oh, that's a good question. I'd go ahead and be prudent and get in line now. The issue is 8 weeks of wage help. If you get the loan, 8 weeks of wage payroll coverage, basically, for your employees that stay on. If you get the 7A loan, the new program. But I don't know if that wage payroll loan forgiveness portion of it expires in June, if there's a hard 8 weeks, or whether it is triggered when you actually sign up for the program. That's a good question. I don't know. I think it ends because, again, remember, this is right now is the crisis, and we're trying to get liquidity in the hands of business as best as possible right now. Leon Mylovar, did you have any insight in that?
It's my understanding that it's 8 weeks now, and after that, there is no other information going forward unless the bill is changed. So it is for the 8 weeks.
Lynn, that's my understanding as well. I think that's the spirit, the intention of this, because again, it's designed. If you don't need it, that's perfect, great. And by the way, if you don't need it, don't apply. I mean, obviously, we're trying to get this into distressed businesses' hands, but you're trying to be prudent and look around the corner. And I would say, there is a possibility this could go on. We're actually hopefully going to flatten this curve and diminish the rate of the disease and understand it better and get people who are really sick the cure they need, but again, there's a lot of unknowns.
Yeah, it's going to be a couple of weeks before we really know if this is going to be a big problem for us, if our tenants can't pay their rent. And I guess as long as I have that window of opportunity in the next 2 or 3 weeks to make a decision. The other question I have is we manage properties for other people who don't have employees, but they do have they're leveraged in their investment, and so if their tenants can't pay the rent, is there anything that can be done for a small-time investor that just has rental properties and don't have employees?
I don't think there's any provision for that.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Let me add to that. I've had that question, and we've researched that a little bit. Now, it is a business, either a LLC or a corporation. And if it is, right, they can't, because the loss of income, because of through rental and all of that, they can apply for an EIDL loan to help them at least pay whatever they have on any of the property and their overhead costs. So they have working capital until we see everything recover.
Okay, very good.
But an individual who is renting, Leon, to tenants who then can't pay, it's my understanding there's no assistance there.
You know, if you're a landlord and your tenants can't pay, you're a business and you're impacted because of loss of sales, you can apply for an EIDL loan.
Okay. All right. Does that help, Lynn?
Yes, it does. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you. Let's now go to Michaela. Hi. Good afternoon.
Hi. I own a dance studio, and we are actually we run like a school year, September through May, and I am just worried about the summer months because we're taking that income in right now, but we're trying to do online classes, and some parents are not too keen about it. So I'm just trying to figure out how to get by with my rent and paying my utilities and all that. But I also took out a loan because we just moved to a location, so I don't know if I can afford 2 loans on top of all of this.
Well, if you're a self-employed person, this would apply to you. Again, the loan is a low interest rate of 4%, but again, interest and principal are deferred for 6 months, and then the wages you're paying yourself will also be subsidized. In other words, you can pay yourself out of that loan, and then you won't have to pay that amount back. So that's an advantage to you. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, in the summer months, I don't bring hardly any income, so I'm worried about paying that loan off.
Yeah. Do you have any employees?
Yes, I have about 8 employees.
Yeah, I understand. But again, the idea here is to help get you some bridge liquidity to stay in business and keep your people on the payroll. So if you can do all of that, the deferment of any kind of payment, plus your payroll taxes, by the way, on the loan for 6 months should get you past the summer. So it's something that you have to decide. But again, the broader idea here is to try to get you the funds you need to stay in business in the short term without obliging you with any more debt in the short term, and a direct loan or a direct subsidy, a grant, if you will, embedded in that loan. So I think it might apply in your situation, but discern that with your banker, okay?
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome. Let's now go to Clint. Good afternoon, Clint.
Hi, Congressman. I appreciate
Hi
you doing this today. I got a couple questions on clarification.
Sure.
My understanding, so the Express Bridge loan is an existing SBA loan that will convert to the 7A once that is all passed and everything. Is that correct?
Leon, is that correct? Leon, you still there?
Yes, I asked about that today, matter of fact, because that was not clear in the legislation. So at this point I cannot answer that. But if you have an EIDL loan, the EIDL loan will take out the Express Bridge loan.
Okay. So I've already been in contact with my banker. We've been talking for the last few days, so I think we're fine there. Okay, my understanding, I took one of my employees and had them file for unemployment this morning, and as long as I bring them back, then those wages are recoverable, correct?
Yes.
Okay, good. I don't want to lose the guy. He's been with me for 9 years. Next thing would be, we're an LLC, and there are 2 partners and then employees below the partners. My partner and I pay ourselves as guaranteed payment to partners. So it's similar to a dividend. We don't run our payroll through a traditional payroll. We pay self-employment tax with our tax return at the end of the year. So is that a recoverable expense?
Harder question, a more nuanced business structure, a more technical one. I don't know, Clint. I don't know. If it is classed as self-employment income, then yes. If it's not, I'm not sure.
Yeah, it is self-employment income. It's just it's a tax return term, I guess is what I would say. But yes, it would be it would be classified as self-employment compensation. So
okay, if you can't figure that out in the next couple days after this bill passes, write a one-paragraph summary of the structure of your business and the tax consideration there, and I will check with the committees in Washington to see if that would apply. Okay.
Okay, and I think that's it.
Okay, good. All right. Sorry I didn't have a ready answer for that, but we'll find one. Okay, if you need help.
Okay. Yep, I
Thank
appreciate it. We'll get through it. We always do.
I like your optimism. Thank you so much.
You bet. Thank you.
At some point, we're going to all start talking about, okay, what's next after Corona? What's telecommuting, telework, and the advancement of digital technology going to do to us? How did so many of us actually see the benefit of restoring interaction with family and community? It's a little premature to start talking about all that, but maybe we can sometime soon. Eric, are you there? Hi, Eric.
Yes. Thank you, Congressman. This is Eric Johnson at Northeast Community College in Norfolk.
Hi.
First, I want to applaud you for doing this today. I second want to applaud you and all of Congress for distributing this money locally at the local bank level. Our team here has been working with several of the local businesses here in Norfolk on business continuity and trying to do exactly what it is that you were suggesting. And the wait times with the SBA for the disaster loans have been excruciating for some of these business owners. So you answered a lot of my questions. Thank you for taking the call.
Yeah, thanks, Eric. Thanks for all that you're doing. I appreciate it. Yes, and that was very much the intent, to try to move this money through the existing relationships in the banking community, to offload that from a government system, which can sometimes get overwhelmed with demand. So thank you for recognizing that, Eric. Appreciate it. Let's now go to Jeff. Good afternoon, Jeff.
Yeah. My question is regarding the short-term compensation that we have in Nebraska along with the new bill that was just passed. Does one supersede the other?
Yeah, we're trying to gain an understanding of that. So it's going to depend, I think, on the type of instrument you had previously. Leon, could you comment on that?
I don't understand the question. Will you please repeat it for me?
Yeah, well, we filed for the short-term compensation. We're a small carpet cleaning company here in Lincoln, and we filed for that for our employees. They're able to work some hours, but not all. And now that the new federal program is coming out to help cover wages, does one supersede the other, or will they work in conjunction with each other?
I mean, them collecting unemployment and also them when you bring them back. You know, one of them is designed for you to have to bring them back that they're actually they're reemployed by you.
Okay.
Kathy, did you have any insights into Jeff's question? Kathy Lang with the Nebraska Business Development Center is also on the line, Jeff.
Thank you, Congressman. Jeff, what I would recommend that you do is call the Department of Labor and ask them how it would work if you decided to discontinue using short-term compensation. And then when this loan opportunity is available and you bring your employees back, I think you and your banker will be able to understand, you know, how to navigate those. But I would be in touch with the Department of Labor on that.
Kathy, is there a particular number or division or person that you would have Jeff call?
So what I'm going to do, Congressman, is let me see if I can find that, and I will send it to your office, and then maybe it would be best for Jeff to call the office to get that contact. But that would be helpful.
No, that's fine. Jeff, you ask a good question that, and yeah, we have to develop an understanding of how to reconcile what is coming out of Congress with what you've already done at the state level. So, and that's not clear to me, but we can get clear on that if you'd be willing to write me a single paragraph about your situation, and then you would take Kathy's advice and call the Department of Labor. They may have better information on reconciling what is likely to come out of the federal bill with what you've already done, okay? And if you can't get that answer, just get back to me with a simple paragraph of the question and what you've, again, a description of what you've already done, okay?
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Tracy. Hi, Tracy, you're on the phone?
Yes, this is Tracy.
Hi there.
Hi. Mike, I have two questions. Are there any limitations, any limitations to apply for the loans? Is there any reason why they would not be approved?
Again, there's a lot of flexibility through the bank. I'm going to turn to Leon Mylabar with Small Business Administration to see if he has any insights into that. Again, the law has not yet been passed. If you are trying to keep people on your payroll and keep your business afloat, that's the broad and wide qualification here. Leon, is that fair?
That's fair. There's also the creditworthiness. If you have not violated any of the other rules and regulations regarding any other government funds, student loans, and or you haven't paid child support. There's a few caveats to all the federal money that we provide.
Yeah, plus being here legally, that's another one.
Okay, and then what if some of our employees have already filed for unemployment? Is there a certain status they need to be at once that loan gets approved?
Yeah, you'd need to bring them back on the payroll to qualify for it.
Okay, so then they would just cancel their claim with the Department of Labor?
I'm not sure of the mechanics of how to do that, but yes, basically.
Okay, thank you.
All right, you're welcome. Let's now go to Heidi. You there?
This is
Hi, good afternoon.
Yeah. Hi, good afternoon.
Heidi.
This is Heidi. I own Choice Transport in Columbus, Nebraska, and we just recently experienced an 80% drop of our backlog. Friday we were great. Monday the bottom fell out. So I'm super excited that you're coming up with these programs. Just to clarify, though, it's 8 weeks of payroll, and it will waive both interest and principal. Is that correct? Am I understanding that properly?
Yes. So it's like a grant embedded within a loan. So you apply for the loan. It's up to $10 million or 2.5 times the payroll amount. If you keep people employed, you will get 8 weeks of payroll forgiveness. Basically, the money that you pay for their payroll cost for 8 weeks is a grant to you. Now, the broader loan for your other expenses is interest and principal deferred for 6 months. I don't know the time horizon on the loan. Leon, have you heard the broader terms of the loan? For instance, how long does it last?
What we've heard until the first of the year. At that point.
Yeah, but that's on deferred interest and payment. But the full term of the loan, do you know how that's structured?
Depending on what it's going to be used for. No, other than that, but that's typically what we do with the 7A. It has to match the assets, the life of the assets, or if it's a working capital, that's a different story. We have it's general provisions of a loan.
Okay, so does that help you, Heidi?
Well, Mike, I guess I'm really only going to need it for payroll. Our overhead is low, so that's super helpful.
Okay.
And then the next thing, then at the end of 8 weeks, then could we look at the short-term compensation, where maybe we can kind of build back up. I just don't feel like it's going to happen overnight. So then can you piggyback that at the end of the 8 weeks?
Yeah, we're getting a lot of conversation about this today. I don't know that. I don't know how those two programs are reconciled. Kathy Lang is on the phone with the Nebraska Business Development Center, and I am appointing Kathy Lang as the reconciler czar of these two programs. Is that okay with you, Kathy?
Oh, my, that is a stretch. I know there are people at the Department of Labor that will help through that. I just sent to your office the phone number specific for short-term compensation, and I'll repeat it right now. This is the Department of Labor, Nebraska, short-term compensation for employers, 402-471-9912. and I know their team can help with this. Now, they too will be trying to understand the new law and how it will be reconciled with short-term compensation, but I know they'll be working on that.
Yeah, so Heidi, that's a short answer for we don't know the fullness. It's a very good question. It could be that they are separate and distinct programs that you fully take advantage of, both of them, or it may be one may reduce the other. I just don't know, but we can
extremely helpful. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. You're welcome. Let's go now to Kim. Hi, Kim. Are you on the phone?
Hi, this is Kimberly Hofer out of Columbus. I own a real estate company, and I did get in on the conversation that the gentleman asked about independent contractors is going to be treated as employees per this bill. My question is, how do you figure, my payroll people, it's easy to find out what that number is because we have records of that. How do you figure their payroll amount when they're independent contractors that are paid on commission?
I don't know the subtleties of that answer, other than maybe it's averaged across a month or something like that. That's a fair question. I just don't know. So I think, Kim, once this bill passes and the bank is going to become very adept at understanding the fullness of each individual person's particular question. So I would get, if this is something you may want to take advantage of, I would get in line now at the bank and start teeing this up. And then if you get stuck on that particular question, we'll go back and ask it of Washington, okay?
Okay. And then I have one other question. I've owned my business for over 20 years, and I've always carried a disruption of service insurance policy. But the one exception in that rider is pandemics. Is there anything that you see coming down the pipe that possibly the government will maybe guarantee to the insurers to allow my insurance company to waive that, go ahead and pay me on that policy, and then the government help out the insurance companies to pay that number? Have you heard anything that they would consider doing that?
No, I haven't. In fact, maybe Bud Sinhorse, who's also on the line, who runs the Lincoln Independent Business Association, has some insight into that, because I've gotten asked, Bud, by members of your association that same question. I don't know if anything is in this bill in that regard. I have heard nothing in that regard. I'm going to make an assumption that there isn't. Remember, the bill, I'm a member of the House of Representatives. The bill is being written in the United States Senate, so we've got a good set of working details on most things. But there's certain things like that I have heard nothing about, and I do not think, honestly, have been addressed, because it's a risk, and I just don't see us backstopping insurance companies for that purpose. Bud, do you have any insight into that?
That's about the same thing that we've heard. I've reached out, and we've had some members that have called to try to talk to our reps in the Senate just to say, hey, here's something to think about, because we're hearing a lot of people with that same issue. So I would recommend reach out to one of the senators' offices or both of them and share that concern, but I have not heard that there's going to be anything included in that as of right now.
Yeah, so Kim, we're dealing with a level of probability here. I think it's highly probable that you are not going to get relief in that regard, but that's a reasonable question that we will double check on, okay?
Okay, thank you so much.
All right, you're welcome. Thank you. Let's now go to Karen. Hi, Karen, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Go ahead.
Okay. We own a family restaurant. The bottom fell out even before it started getting bad here the week before, because we do a lot of business people. We were down 40-50% sales. Then last week it went to 90% down. We had to let everybody go because that's how we were advised with the governor, so they can get on unemployment. Most of people are part-time, but we have a few that this is their job. This is their full-time job at 5. we had to get them on unemployment. Now, this week we closed down days to get our heads together and figure out opening it up, what happens. But I don't know, we can't pay people to have people coming in. So what you're saying, you can get these.
Karen, I'm sorry, the phone is cutting in and out, so I'm getting about every third word. I think you're a family restaurant who's lost 90% of its business, and you've laid everyone off, and they're now on unemployment. I think the reality of your situation is it may be what it is. Them going on unemployment is probably a reasonable response in your situation. However, if you can bring people back on and you want to apply for this loan, it is something to consider, and then payroll costs are paid for 8 weeks. It would help get you through potentially before you lose people. Maybe even those full-time people that you had would want to do that. Now, at the same time, we've increased unemployment benefits substantially in this bill, so it's going to be more help for people, $600 or more per unemployment check, plus the first week is provided for. So it may be such that your people are going to be unemployed, particularly given the nature of your business situation. But if you can, this money is available to you to reopen and get back after it. So I'm sorry I had to cut you off. I just couldn't hear you fading in and out. But thank you very much. If you want to call back to my office in Lincoln, you're certainly welcome. Let's now go to Jim. You there? Hi, Jim.
Yes, I think you've answered most of my questions, quite honestly. We're an LLC that it's a family entertainment center. We basically have had to shut our doors because, first of all, of social pressure of even having our doors open and people coming in. But secondly, there's just not a lot for people to do. But we do have some people that come in and work on the building, and we're trying to open up a new area. Can I bring that person back in, because I haven't been having them come in? Can I bring them back in and have them work and have them be paid and have them part of the payment?
Yes. Now, because you're not bringing the full payroll back on, there will be a certain reduction there, and you'll have to work with the banker and figure that out. But, yes, that's a possibility. The other thing, too, is I want everyone to be aware of there's a $10,000 credit out there for employee retention. So there's certain circumstances, again, where the loan doesn't work, and then that might be applicable. And then the third is there is direct grants available to certain businesses in certain categories. So, again, once this bill passes, we're going to have more detail on that, but watch for those two things in the next couple of days. Either three of these dynamics: a loan that would be forgiven for payroll, offset by reduction in your payroll, or a direct grant for emergency assistance, or, again, a credit on your taxes for employee retention, in addition to the deferral of payroll taxes and the deferral of interest and even on existing SBA loans, is something that's all in the works here. So, Jim, that's a good question in terms of just partial bringing a certain number of employees back, but you wouldn't receive the full payroll offset.
And my banker should know most of this stuff if I get a hold of him. And
I get a hold of him now. He probably doesn't know the fullness of it yet because it's all being rolled out as we speak. It still has to pass the House of Representatives. I think we're going to do that in the next couple of days, though. I think it's just be good to get in front of this and get ready to go if this applies to your situation.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm sorry. Let's go now to Amy. Are you there? Hi, Amy.
Hello.
Hi there.
Hi. Thank you so much for taking my call.
Sure.
I am a salon owner in Norfolk, Nebraska, and we are a booth rental salon. So I own the building, but everyone that works here pays us rent. They are not our employees, so they are considered self-employed. So can you explain to me what would my steps be? Would I want a loan for my own business, and then would I tell my girls to get their own loans so that they can pay me, or how does this work exactly?
So your source of business relationship with them is just pure tenant to renter.
Exactly.
Is that right?
Yes,
yeah.
Exactly.
I'm going to ask Leon Mylabar to help me with that. There is an earlier program that could potentially help you with that Leon was talking about earlier on the call. The current dynamic is to assist employers with employees or independent contractors, as well as your own wages. Now, as a self-employed person, you actually may be eligible yourself for your own wages if you want to go and get a loan, and then a portion of those wages forgiven under a certain amount of income. So, but Leon, did you want to speak to the earlier assistance that's available, or the earlier conversation we had?
Yes, what I suggest that you do, that all you and your independent, all of your hairdressers and all that, they're independent businesses. All of you can apply for the EIDL loan, which will go ahead and take care of your losses, because the hairdressers no longer have business. You no longer have rental income coming in, and you have the obligation to pay for the lease and any of your other expenses for the property, and pay for your own salary that you were taking out. That is one of the options, and then we'll have to see what happens with this the new 7A loan program as it comes out. But that loan program is our traditional disaster loan program that you can apply for now.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
Okay, Amy, thank you very much. Let's now go to, hi, is it Barb? Barb, you on the line? Hi, Barb. Okay, let's now go to, is Janelle, are you on the line?
There you go.
Hi, Janelle.
This is Janelle. Yes, hi. My name's Janelle Faraci, and I purchased the historic Rogers Inn in Lincoln just last November. And we have had quite a few things going on, but number one, we lost all of our bookings through July. So any source of income that we expected to come in now through July has just grind to a halt. I've kept on a couple of employees, but obviously can't really afford to do that. I've also taken on a hard money swing loan, just business retention, so that we can keep, since it's a historical house, we've had to do a lot of different things for the city just to keep it up to code. You know, that we're, you know, a lot of little things. You open up walls, there's all sorts of code that, you know, has to be adhered to now. So what is our best route here? Is it business interruption? Is it business retention? What is our best route to go here to seek the maximum amount of funds possible?
Well, Janelle, since you've already retained employees, thankfully, thank you for doing that. Again, this new program that's rolling out is specifically designed for someone in your circumstances who has lost a significant amount of business, who can keep employees in anticipation of a growing business need once we turn this corner. So I've gone over it a number of times. You probably have heard it. Again, a very large loan is available to you with 8 weeks of forgiveness for payroll. So that might very well fit your situation, and then the loan is stretched out over a period of months. No payments are due. So that might be a good bridge until we turn the corner on this, particularly in terms of travel and gathering space.
And is that the $10,000 per employee, or
no?
What is
that's a credit.
The stimulus.
The package that's getting ready to come out will have a new loan program through banks, through the Small Business Administration, but your banker will set it up for you. You can basically get a loan up to $10 million or 2.5 times your payroll, and your own wages can be included in that, by the way. So, and then there's 8 weeks of a grant inside that loan for payroll costs and rental and utilities. So I don't know how you do that with a B&B. That might be a little trickier, but your payroll for 8 weeks.
It's a full-size bed and breakfast. It's not an Airbnb.
No,
So
I accidentally said that. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say
That's
that.
okay.
I accidentally said it.
No, figure it's a fully running hotel.
Okay, I got you. So again, as a self-employed person, I assume that's where you're set up. Your wages would be forgiven for 8 weeks, and along with any employees, and the loan extended with no interest or payment principal due for 6 months, and then structured over time based upon some criteria, based upon the type of business you have. So a pretty good deal to keep you in business. I'd go to the banker quickly and see if it's available. Now, the $10,000 issue that you raised is a separate program. It's a credit for employee retention. So that might also apply. And then there's a disaster grant, which in your industry, because you're the hardest hit along with restaurants in the beginning, you may be in the front of the line for that kind of thing. I just don't know yet. I don't know the criteria, but I'd look out for that as well.
You know, and you will know? I mean, you have an idea, like when you're meeting or you'll make a decision?
Well, this is up to the United States Senate, who is getting ready to vote, I think, today after they straighten a few things out. Then it'll come back to the House of Representatives quickly, and within about 48 hours, we'll know if this passes. It's going to pass. I'm going to give you that prediction. I am in general support of the overall intention here because this is very important to protect America's health, to protect America's small businesses. This is critical. This is a tremendous time of suffering and uncertainty for our country. So it's a huge, huge package designed specifically for people like you and who've been on this call who really do need help to stay in business and to keep people employed. So that's the intent here. So okay, but thank you very much.
When you say an SBA loan, are you talking about the SBA loan where you have to put together a business plan and, you know, all like tick down a whole list? Or is this really an emergency SBA loan where you show them what you've got on your books and that's how you determine it with your banker and it goes from there?
Number two, it's an emergency type program with maximum flexibility. You won't have to sit in line and wait. It's going to be quick approval by your bank. Okay?
Okay.
All right.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Janelle. Thanks so much. Let's see. Let's go. Hi, Echo. Echo, you on the line? We talked to you the other day. How you doing? Are things any better?
I'm doing great. Yourself?
Okay. Yeah. Hi.
I appreciate getting on the call today. I've been working tirelessly on this today with bankers and small businesses. So I thank you for you guys' hard work on this. Fantastic. A lot of my questions got answered here, and just have a couple holes I'm hoping to fill in. So, according to the bill, your eligibility depends on what you had for employees from March 1st to June 30th of 2019, and that determines how much of your loan is forgiven. With the $33,000 max, I think we have a clear understanding of that. You cut out on me a little bit, so maybe you answered this at some point. But for the sole proprietors, how are they supposed to calculate what they would get? We're very clear kind of on how to calculate the employees and who would qualify for from last year to this year. But if you're a sole proprietor, you don't get wages. I know it's up to $100,000 annual, but do we know how they should be calculating what they would get?
Well, if you're a sole proprietor, I mean, your wages are coming. You're paying payroll tax on your own wages that you receive.
So you're going off tax return wages?
Yes.
Okay. And then my other question is the bill reads that the period is March 1st to June 30, but it's covering 8 weeks of pay, even though that's a 16-week period. So that only 8 weeks is forgivable. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. I think you've answered all. Oh, the only other question, yes. I've worked with 3 banks today, and as of this morning, they were pretty uncertain. I think this is all new coming out. Somebody had mentioned there was 162 lenders in Nebraska. Is there a place we can go find that list and who people should be working with?
Sure. Leon, do you want to speak to that question, plus the issue of being a sole proprietor? I'm making an assumption it's taxable income based upon the payroll, not profits, payroll, the wages being paid to the individual.
The quickest way to answer the 162, we have about 3 or 4 that are just solely ag related, do cattle and row crops and all of that. every major bank, any community bank. We have only about 170 banks, actually a little less than that at this point. So if you've got a bank in your neighborhood, it is probably an SBA lender. All the major banks though, are much more aggressive in pursuing SBA loans.
Sure.
On that question of
too early.
on that question of sole proprietor, I think I got that pretty close, Leon. Right?
There are no waivers.
Yeah, that's right. You know, historically what you paid yourself.
Yes, basically what you pay yourself, in effect, for tax purposes. Yep.
That's correct.
What you claim on your taxes. Okay. That's unfortunate.
Yeah,
okay.
your wages.
Yes,
they come to you. Yes. All right.
And then is the rent and utilities also forgivable?
Yes.
Portion of that? Okay, great. All right.
Okay.
I appreciate
All right. All right. Well, look, we've gotten through the list of questions, so thank you everybody who has stayed on the call, and we really appreciate it. It was a good discussion today, and I want to thank our business experts who are with us, Leon Malabar with the Small Business Administration, as well as Kathy Lang, Nebraska Business Development Center, and Dan Curran, the Department of Economic Development. Thank you guys for being on the call, as well as Bud Sinhorst, who has initiated all of this on behalf of Lincoln Independent Business Association. We had a lot of people invited from across the 1st Congressional District as well. So I thought we had a good conversation. I apologize if I didn't answer your question fully, but a lot of this is in motion, and some of it is nuanced and subtle. And if we did not get to your question, you're welcome to email me, and we'll try to get it back an answer to you as quickly as possible. Again, this is going to be a very large massive $2 trillion bill coming out of the United States Congress in short order to do two things: to stop the pandemic, protect America's health, and protect America's small businesses. So thank you for everything you're doing, and hopefully we'll turn this corner very soon. Okay, thanks everyone for being on the call. Bye-bye.